KOMO News Time is 2:34. We're going to check your AAA traffic and weather, and then we're going to go one-on-one with one of the 21 candidates running for mayor of the city of Seattle, Michael Harris.
Now, a closer look at the news and issues affecting you. The Midday News with Herb Weisbaum on KOMO News 1000, FM 97.7.
Sure hope you're having a good Thursday, enjoying this beautiful weather, and thank you for spending part of your day with us here on KOMO. Most of the 21 candidates for Seattle's next mayor talk about how progressive they are. One candidate, Michael Harris, says he's progressive all right, but fiscally moderate. Harris says he wants to hear what conservatives in the city have to say. Today we go one-on-one with candidate Michael Harris, a TV news photojournalist and an environmental activist known to many as the Whale Guy.
How you doing, Herb?
Your slogan is, it's time to right the ship. What do you mean by that?
Well, we're listing, to use maritime terms. We're listing to the left. We're not talking to all the people in the city. We're not looking at all the good ideas. And in listing to the left, we're leaving a lot of people out. We're leaving a lot of good ideas out. And boy, we need all the good ideas on the table. We have a lot of problems in the city.
On the video you produced for your campaign, you explained that no one would confuse you with a Republican. You call yourself a radical centrist.
I am a radical centrist. Yes, I am. I'm a moderate. And out of all the Democrats in this race, I'm the only moderate. I'm the only one saying no new taxes. We're already overtaxed in this city. And I'm talking no income tax, no wealth tax. I'm talking no increase of the sales tax. There's discussions about raising the sales tax and B&O tax reform, which really hurts small businesses. So I'm a fiscal conservative, and yet nobody can out-progress me on environment, on social issues. I'm still a lefty in a lot of ways, but I'm taking this right down the center, and we're getting a lot of response.
Politics in Seattle right now is so leftward-leaning. Do you feel confident there are enough people who want to move things back to the center?
Absolutely. And I know that in the city we've got 28% of our registered voters are Republicans. And they're not all Trumpies. They're actually very progressive Republicans who want to see a change of course in city government. We have a lot of moderates. I came from the school of Dan Evans and Ralph Monroe and all these good moderates. I've been in the city for 35 years. And we've just lost that honorable thing of political compromise, of being moderate, looking at all good ideas instead of doing a leapfrog to the left, especially on taxation.
You are one of 21 people running for mayor. How do you break out from the pack? Some people with big name recognition, politicians who've been around for a long time. What are you going to do?
Well, I tell you, the message that we have about no new taxes is resonating. And yeah, it's 21 people. I tell you, when I agreed to get into this race, I think there were 5 candidates. By the time I filed, there were 21. And I tell you, it's tough. There are people who got into this race magically with a couple $100,000. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. But the fact is, I've seen the candidates. I've gotten to know them. I'm not impressed. I'm really not. There's some good people there, but no good leaders. There's not a good choice right now. And so being a moderate, going down the center, and expressing the positions that we have in this campaign, being this immersive, hands-on leader that I will be as mayor, it's starting to resonate, and that's how I'm getting attention. And I am getting attention.
What about the people listening who might be saying, okay, he's the whale guy, he's a conservationist, and he's in the news business. What makes him qualified to run a city?
Well, you know, I'm sort of preaching to the choir here as another journalist here, but, you know, what they teach us, Herb, is you don't go into an assignment with the story written. You listen to all sides. You go down the middle, and then you communicate that back out, usually on a tight deadline. And that's what's been missing in Seattle politics. We have the story written.
We have a homeless crisis. Do you have some new solutions to bring to the table?
Absolutely. And I think first it's that approach, that hands-on approach. I get into the camps. I went into these camps. I went out with Union Gospel Mission on search and rescue to go out into these camps from 7 p.m. to 2 in the morning to get to know people, to talk to them, to figure out what this problem is. We've been missing that immersive approach to homelessness. But I'm looking at some very, very serious, interesting issues that work in other cities that we're just not trying because maybe they're Republican ideas. In Albuquerque, in Denver, this Dignity for a Day program, where we get people out of homeless camps to work for a day, give them training, work for a day picking up garbage, litter, and then maybe give them a little bit of training on the pothole brigade. You know, give them some infrastructure training so that when the big Fed bill comes down, the federal bill comes down on infrastructure, they can keep moving up, keep moving upward and get out of those camps. I'm looking at eliminating wet houses, eliminating programs that just don't work. We're spending more money than any city in the country on homelessness, but our problem just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It was a crisis when Mayor Murray started. Now it's an epidemic, and it doesn't seem to be going away. And it's that kind of approach, looking at bloated programs, looking at buildings we own that we could sell and put into this, but looking at a better way of doing this and doing it without raising taxes and just throwing a bunch of money at the problem. It's an approach thing. It's a way of using efficiencies, and it's not looking at burdening our businesses and our residents more with taxes just so we can throw good money at bad money.
Can a mayor make this city affordable so all kinds of people can live here?
Absolutely. If you look at all these issues, they cross-pollinate each other, Herb. You know, I mean, even things like the Soto Arena, the Sonics Arena that Mayor Murray doesn't want, but having a development there that doesn't tap public funds to get done will build development. We can get a Mary's Place out of this group like Amazon does in South Lake Union. We can work with our corporate residents instead of being belligerent with them and say, help us solve the problem. I know that companies like Vulcan, other companies, don't want to give money to this city because they feel like it's just going to get wasted. We have to do better with what we have and work better with our corporate residents. And then as far as livability, upzoning, strategic upzoning in places where light rail and other places are, Soda, for example, we need to look at that. We need to look at little things like codes on mother-in-law apartments, allowing people to create mother-in-law apartments within their dwellings in these neighborhoods so they don't have to knock down these houses and destroy the character of these neighborhoods like my neighborhood in Ballard. There's so many things we can do. I can rattle off a list of things that we can do to increase the amount of housing, not just for, we're building a lot of luxury apartments. We're not doing enough middle income workforce apartments like these two developers are doing, and First Hill and Yesler. We can do things like that. We're just not doing it. I think it's just lack of vision. And that's what I bring, an immersive, fiscal conservative approach to all of these problems. We can fix these things. Our city, we have a boom right now. We're so lucky to have a boom. The last thing we want to do is kill the boom as we try to solve the problems.
Michael Harris, one of the many people who would like to be the next mayor of the city of Seattle. Michael, thanks for being with us today.
Honored to be with you, Herb. Thanks.